I'm Erica Thompson. I'm Vested's head of agency marketing. We're here with Alyssa Gilmore, global head of communications for Bloomberg's financial products, and Shindy Chen. She is the CEO and founder of Scribe. They're a financial content firm. Welcome, ladies. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to kick off today's conversation talking about remote work and sort of how companies are shifting to that format in light of the coronavirus and looking to keep their employees safe and healthy. I know both of you guys obviously have quite a bit of experience managing remote teams, so very excited to hear your perspectives. Experience with obviously prior to this, but I wanted to pick your brains about what a remote policy looks like and how you implement it and how you communicate that to your teams. So Alyssa, if you can kick us off and just tell us kind of broadly what a remote policy looks like for your team specifically.
Sure, and thanks for having me, Erica. You know, at Bloomberg, we have implemented a variety of measures to protect our employees and our clients. And some of those may involve remote work, some of those might be travel restrictions. When it comes to working remotely, we've taken a lot of measures to make sure that our employees can do that safely, securely, and effectively wherever they are in the world. For me, with the communications team, we always need to be reachable. So this isn't so much a change of pace for us as it is just putting a lot of our measures into action.
Perfect. Yeah, and Shindy, if you can tell us a little bit about Scribe, and I know you have a lot of employees that are remote as well.
Yeah, certainly. With regard to remote policy, it pretty much is the way we are. We have been a fully distributed company from day one since our inception. So that means that we are a company full of remote workers, and we have remote workers across 4 different time zones. So as far as policy is concerned, there's nothing really firmly in place. It's just the fact that we are a fully distributed company means that anybody who joins our team or is working with our team understands that they already need to have the systems in place to be able to remote work successfully.
Perfect. Yeah, and Shindy, because you are already working remotely, and Alyssa, same for you, you know, talk about this in terms of how you've hired people in the past, but how do you effectively communicate to employees that even though they're remote and maybe, you know, they're home with kids or whatever it is, that there's still that idea that you are at work, and how do you maybe balance that in your communication?
Manage, and we're certainly not going to record or monitor our, you know, employees' daily activities, but I think it's a matter of letting employees have that freedom and that discipline to structure and order their own day so that they can meet their deadlines, that they can hold themselves accountable so that they're prepared to collaborate with their team members efficiently. And I think that's the ultimate part of it is remote work forces you to hold yourself accountable. And as long as you are meeting the deadlines, performing well, producing results, and just delivering excellent work, I think that's really ultimately the key of remote work.
Perfect. And then Alyssa, are you able to sort of expand on that and talk about your experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, first of all, it's important to have maintained a company culture where people know what's expected, right? And you know, if one of the tenets of your culture is work hard, do the right thing, you know, that will carry over with your employees to wherever they're working for the day or for the month, as it might be. You know, we're seeing that in action now. You know, we've communicated very clearly to our clients and our employees that the steps we're taking now are to ensure that we can maintain our normal operations. Employees understand their responsibility in that. And, you know, we were among the first companies to require some of our employees in mainland China and Hong Kong to work from home as the crisis became imminent there. And we found that those employees are able to maintain very high level of operations while doing what makes them comfortable, right? So we're finding in some ways they're doing things very creatively that we wouldn't have anticipated either. I recently heard that some of our colleagues in Asia are doing coffee chats virtually to replicate some of the more casual or informal conversations that they would have in the office. So I think what we're seeing is not only are people working incredibly effectively, they're finding ways to replicate that cultural experience remotely as well.
Perfect. And Alyssa, to go back to one of the things that you had mentioned too about communicating working remotely to clients, is there any sort of concern in that, either obviously from a health perspective, does it instill some kind of like, oh, should we be doing that as well? Or even just in the sense that, your team is no longer sitting in the same room. And if so, how do you kind of create that narrative or combat that fear?
For how we're supporting clients?
In terms of telling clients that, our team is now going to be remote due to the concern around the coronavirus, or even just in general saying that, we're not all in the same room. Is there any concern from clients, or, does anyone view that as a detriment in some way?
Well, I think it depends. I think most of our clients are probably facing similar business continuity considerations at this point, and probably are thinking very critically about how they manage their own remote working procedures and policies for their employees. Certainly, they want to know that we're taking measures, and we're very open with them about the measures that we're taking. I think, again, it is all about communication. It's making sure that people are reassured, whether they're inside your company or depending upon your company, that you let them know what to expect from you. And if there are things that you cannot continue to do, for instance, there are some events that we are, no longer holding, that you're open with people about that. I think in a situation like this, no one's going to be overly surprised to hear that you've taken measures. And I think it's probably very reassuring for them as long as you maintain an open conversation.
Perfect. Yeah, Shindy, can you tell us a little bit about your experience and how you've communicated that to clients as well?
Well, we're a services provider first, and so most of our work has always been delivered electronically anyway. And I think even before clients approach us for full-scale retainer engagements or any type of engagement, they are aware that Scribe is a fully distributed and remote company. And so that is already understood. As far as the new developments with COVID-19, I don't think that's going to impact as far as how we're working internally, because we've always been remote. But we haven't seen the need to express to our clients that there are going to be any substantial changes as far as any interruptions to the work that we're delivering, because it's just the nature of our work. It's just, we deliver content, we deliver financial content, and as far as our schedules, if anything is changing due to quarantines or anything like that, that's not impacting any timetables or anything like that. So our clients won't see any interruptions there.
Right.
Erica, one more thing that I should mention is that as a global company, and Bloomberg has 167 locations around the world, we're very used to supporting our clients on a follow the sun basis. And our global service teams are able to operate from virtually anywhere in the world, whether in an office or remotely. So I think our clients are aware of that level of service as well.
Sure. In implementing a remote working policy, are there specific sort of recommendations that you would give to other people that are looking to do the same, whether that's highly tactical or even a little bit more strategic or interpersonal, that you guys have found to be effective? Alyssa, if you want to take that one first.
Sure. I think the most important thing, as I was saying earlier, is to make sure that people understand that what you're doing is consistent with your company culture, and that they know their place and feel their responsibilities within that. The second thing I think is just, be human. Understand that people may have fears or worries, that people might feel uncomfortable. And your employees are depending on you to help them feel comfortable operating in whatever new way they might need to do. If they're not used to remote working, this could be unsettling for them. Helping them make sure that they have the tools, that they know that they have the support they need, I think is really, really important. And then third, of course, having those tools, making sure that they work, making sure that people understand, you know, take the responsibility, go home, test to make sure things work. You know, we are very connected at Bloomberg around the globe, and we often remind employees on a regular basis, just make sure that if you have to, you can work from home. So I think stepping that up right now and getting people to test, I think will give them an added sense of security that they can get their jobs done no matter what.
Perfect. Yeah, and Shindy, I would ask you the same thing. And I know that Scribe put together within the Scribble newsletter some pretty specific tools that you guys have been using. So if you can kind of speak to both those tools and on a strategy level, how you effectively implement a remote working policy.
Yeah, certainly. And I totally agree with Alyssa. It starts with company culture. And, you know, in our Scribe way of work, which we've published, it's, you know, the first thing is about freedom and having the right tools and being accountable. And of course, being ready and prepared so that your collaborative team can benefit. And I think we obviously rely on certain tools that makes remote work possible. And we understand that due to security measures or just the internal structure of some organizations that they might not be able to use these same tools. But as far as we're concerned, we benefit from tools like Slack. That's obviously the messaging and collaborative software. We benefit from G Suite, which is that whole host of, you know, Google Docs, slides, sheets, forms, all of that involved in G Suite. And that is obviously a primary tool that we use. For project management, we use tools like Trello. You can organize pretty much anything from editorial calendars to client deliverables using Trello. Another great tool is Zoom, which we're using right now, and it's a fantastic conference and web calling software. And we found that it is probably one of the best quality streaming services that we've used before. It's pretty stable. Clients across all different time zones can use it successfully. With file sharing, we use tools like Box.com, and Box has a great feature where you can do things like Microsoft Edit.
Shindy, Alyssa, thank you both so much for your time and sharing your perspectives. And I'm sure we will chat to both of you soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Erica. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.